Yeah, hello everyone and good evening. And it is wonderful being here with all of you. And I really thank every one of you for being here and spending your time, or rather investing your time with me. It's a great honor and pleasure for me. And I think I will do one thing. I
Yes, sir.
will,
We will give you the rights to share, so you can kindly share your screen. Organizers will, yes,
that will be wonderful if I
correct, sir.
can, yeah, yeah.
So now, if you can kindly try
Yeah, just a moment.
sharing the screen. For you share screen, sir, there is a wonderful book I can see in the back end. It's Limitless. That's a very
Yeah,
proper book for today's discussion, isn't it?
yeah. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir. It's visible. If you can have the full screen mode.
Yeah. Now,
Yes,
now it is in full
yes.
screen mode, right?
It's
So,
visible, sir. Yes.
so once again, thanks to everyone for joining me. And I know you all are busy people, and you probably could have been in something other, but you have taken out your time and joined here. That is my honor and privilege. And I assure you one thing, that I will do my best so that you get the value for the time you are investing with me. So today's topic is harness the power of subconscious mind. Let me ask you a question. How many of you would like to ignite the power within for success? I think all of you, right? So uh, let us go to the next thing. What you can expect from this training. Number one is understanding conscious and some subconscious mind. So what is conscious mind and what is subconscious mind, and how they work, how they function? That is a part that we'll be discussing. Number two, what are the basic functions of our brain? So there is a difference between mind and brain that we will discuss later on. So what are the basic functions of our brain, and then how to ignite the power of subconscious mind? That is the thing that we are going to understand in this presentation. So with your kind permission, Mr. Apurva has given a wonderful introduction, but let me give you a little more tell me a little more about myself for 1 minute. So I'm Sanjay Biswas, and I have over 40 years of experience in industry, specifically in international and national marketing of industrial machineries. And I have traveled all over the world, uh, and I have been a keen learner of, people, how to bring out the best from the people. That has been one of the subjects that always has attracted me. And I have been fortunate enough to get coached and trained by some of the top leaders in the industry in the world, like Bob Proctor, uh, um, T. Harvekar, Robin Sharma, and many others. Here, this is a photograph with Sam Cawthon, who is one of the top personality development person in Australia, and he travels all over the world. This is J.T. Fox, known as the #1 wealth coach in the world. This is something, this gentleman is known as the master of the master, Blair Singer. He is advisor to, if you know, Rich Dad Poor Dad. The writer of Rich Dad Poor Dad, he is advisor to him. So I had an opportunity to get trained by him also. This is a workshop I conducted in Dubai. I have been conducting workshops before the corona, and now I conduct workshops online like we are doing it now. This is one of the facilitations I got in Dubai. So this is a little about myself. Now let us enter into the real subject. If I ask you, what is one thing that can change your life? What would be your answer? One thing that can change your life. The answer is mindset. It is the mindset that makes or breaks us. You see, this picture. If we have a wrong mindset, if we don't have a positive mindset, then we look like this: lazy, pessimistic, no risk taking, lack of self confidence, and stuck in life. Whereas with a positive mindset, a person is creative, optimistic, full of self confidence, energetic, risk taker, progressing in life. So, what would you like to be? The one here or one here? I'm sure you will like to be like this, and that is what exactly we are going to discuss in today's presentation. Let us understand, as we said, let us understand conscious and subconscious mind. What is conscious and subconscious mind? Say this is your mind. So there are two parts. One is your conscious mind and the other is your subconscious mind. So conscious mind is the active mind. And the lines you see there here are our sensory organs, जिसके थ्रू हम मतलब हमारा आँख, कान, our tongue, our nose, and our touch kinesthetic. These are the sensory organs through which we receive the information. So conscious mind is the part of the mind from where we receive all the information. And this is the mind from which can be educated. And the most important part is it can choose what to accept and what to reject. क्या अच्छा है बुरा है is decided in our conscious mind, and the other part is our subconscious mind, which is our emotional mind, and it is basically the storehouse of our all what we learn over a period of time. And this is a mind which cannot accept or reject whatever conscious mind accepts. That is that goes to the subconscious mind through a filter, and it is stored in the subconscious mind. That is a very important factor. We have to understand that conscious mind is where all our we whatever. If I am talking to you, I am talking to you from my subconscious mind, but my whatever is I know about is stored in my subconscious mind. So subconscious mind is like, it is like filing cabinets where all different files are there and the data is stored over there. So conscious mind is from where we learn the things. And if we look at the conscious and subconscious mind, the subconscious mind is about 90 to 95% of our whole mind, whereas the conscious mind is only 5 to 10%. So the bigger mind is our subconscious mind, and the only a very small part of our whole mind is our conscious mind. So, and subconscious mind is where our mindset is created. We will understand how it is created as we go forward, but here we have to understand that there are two parts of our mind. One is the conscious mind and other is the subconscious mind. Let us understand the function of conscious mind and subconscious mind by an example of learning to drive a car. When you just imagine when you went, or if you do not know driving, if you when you went to when you go to learn driving, that time you are under lot of anxiety and stress because you have to think of so many things that when to put the gear, when to put the clutch, when to use the accelerator, when to use the brake, how to steer the car, all so many functions at a time you have to synchronize to drive a car. And while learning, it is a lot of strain, but as the time goes, you keep on understanding the function of each of the operations to drive the car, and gradually it becomes that you become a regular driver. So when you have learned driving, what happens then? Then it is a simple thing. You go and sit on the wheel and just start the car, and things happen automatically. Now you are in a auto mode. Why? When you were learning, that time you were operating totally from the conscious mind. But as you learn the skill of driving, those learnings have now been stored in your subconscious mind. So that is how all the learnings that we do, when we learn the things, that time we have to put lot of effort. But as we learn, the things get stored, and then things, you are on an autopilot. Whatever you are doing, if you are a student or if you are an engineer or accountant, whatever you have learned over a period of your life, so you have now those learnings are there in your subconscious mind, and that is why. But when you were learning all these skills or knowledge you were acquiring, what used to happen at that time? You had to put lot of effort. So basically, when we operate from the conscious mind, there is lot of energy that is consumed. So it is not possible to always operate from the conscious mind. And that is why, the universe has made this arrangement that, everything once learned goes into the subconscious mind. There it is stored. And then the human beings automatically get into a more or less autopilot. And then the learned part of the things is happens more or less automatically. Now that is how our mind works. Now let us understand the basic function of our brain. Before I go into that, let us understand the difference between brain and mind, because quite often we get confused between what is brain and what is mind. So best example for that I can give is, imagine your laptop. The laptop is the hardware, but this hardware has to operate on some software. To operate this hardware, you need to have some software. Some system has to be there to operate this hardware. So brain is your hardware, whereas your mind is your software. I think that makes it clear between the brain and the mind. So, and the thing is, we all are gifted with this wonderful and powerful tool that is brain. Now, how we put the software in that brain, that is our thoughts, that is our learning, that is our habits, those are all our software, that is our mind. So That is the difference. That is the easiest way to explain the difference between the brain and the mind. So, basic function of our brain, you see, this is very important. Please remember this. Our brain has two basic functions. What are those two basic functions? Two basics and primary functions of the brain is to keep you alive and to keep you safe and out of pain. What are the two basic or primary function of the brain? To keep you alive and to keep you safe and out of pain. Why I am saying that? You may ask, how do you say that? Let us understand that there are, you see, our brain has evolved over a period of millions of years. What the type of brain that we have today is not the type of the brain it was always that the human beings had. It has evolved over a period of time. And there are basically, broadly, there are three stages of development. The reptilian, the mammalian, and the neocortex. So reptilian is the oldest brain, and it is about 7.5 million years old. करीब 75 lakh साल पुराना है. This is when the human beings were in a most primitive stage. जब इंसान जो है वो जंगल में रहता था. They used to be in the jungles, and they didn't know what to wear. They had nothing. They were more or less like an animal. So at that time, what used to happen, that their brain had basically only three functions, because they were always facing threat from the outside. कोई भी दूसरा जानवर आकर के अटैक कर देगा. So they had basically three options. What were those three options? To fight that. किसी ने अटैक किया तो उसको फाइट करो, रन अवे, भाग जाओ, या हाइड, छुप जाओ. So fight, run away, or hide. These were the only three functions their brain had at that point of time, when, at the very initial stage of the evolution of the human being. Then gradually, as human being kept on learning more and more things, then the mammalian kind of brain got developed. And this is the emotional brain. And this is about 2 million years old, 20 lakh साल पुराना. And this is the stage when people started creating community. अपने चारों ओर कुछ झोपड़ी जैसा कुछ बना लिया. To protect themselves, there will be some surrounding with bamboo or other things. They had already learned how to create fire, all these things. So this was the second stage of evolution of the brain. And the brain that we have now, that is neocortex, that is the youngest brain, and it is about only 10,000 years old, maybe 10 to 15,000 years old. And this is the brain from where today we, we have the capability that we have today. Now, what happens? This reptilian brain being the oldest, और ये बहुत बड़ा पार्ट हमारे ब्रेन का है, एंड ये पुराना है, बड़ा है, इसकी दादागिरी चलती है. In a way, you can say that it bullies. So this is the reactive part of the brain. So what happens whenever something happens to you? It sends a signal, जो कि हम लोगों ने पहले इसके पहले बोला ना, the basic function of our brain is to keep us safe or out of pain. वो क्योंकि उस ब्रेन का क्या काम है, कुछ भी हुआ तो फाइट, रन अवे और हाइड. So that is the function. That is why what happens, that whenever we want to do something different or we want to change ourselves, this brain, comes up and says, no, 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 because it wants to keep you safe. It does, and safety is in not change. Safety is in where you are. So it always resists any change. But we have to understand one thing, that we are today not, it is doing his job. Reptilian brain is doing his job. It is giving you the signal, but you have to tell it, thank you for your signal. But I know, I can understand myself also. Now I have a developed brain. I can understand what is good and what is bad. That is where the function of your conscious mind is coming. This conscious mind mein jab wo, when you are receiving the information through your sensory organs, that time you have to decide what is right, what is wrong. So this is the basic function of the brain. So we have to understand why I am discussing this function of the brain, because the biggest problem we as human being face is whenever we want to change. हम अपने comfort zone में रहना चाहते हैं. We always try to remain in our comfort zone. जैसे ही हमको comfort zone से बाहर निकलना होता है, then there is a resistance from inside. नहीं. So we, at that time, we have to stretch ourselves a little bit, so that we are able to come out of our comfort zone. So this is how, this is the basic understanding of our mind and our brain. So our mind has conscious mind and subconscious mind, right? The conscious mind is the active mind through which all the information is gathered, and there it is filtered what to take and what to not take, and accordingly through the filter it goes to the subconscious mind, and the information is stored in the subconscious mind. And subconscious mind is a mind which cannot, usko aap jo bhi acha information do, kharab information do, that it will accept as it is. It cannot, distinguish between good and bad. It cannot distinguish between what is real and what is not real. Whatever information your conscious mind will allow to get into the subconscious mind will accept that as it is and store it there. So, and the thing is, as I have written here, 95% of our brain's auto function is to keep us safe and out of pain. So that is the reason why there is so much of resistance whenever there is something different that one has to do. And only 5%. But the good news is that today we have that part of the brain, that is the neocortex, which has the understanding, which has the ability to distinguish between good and bad. But we have to overcome that resistance that is created by our reptile brain. So next is, now as we discussed at the very beginning, I asked you a question: if there is one thing that can change our life, that is mindset. It is also called the paradigm. So how mindset and paradigm is formed, that is a very important thing that we have to understand, so that we can work on how to change our paradigm or how to change our mindset. So let us understand how the paradigms are formed. As we discussed, that there is conscious mind and subconscious mind. Through the subconscious mind, we receive the information through our sensory organs. They are eyes, visual, nose, smell, kinesthetic, touch, hearing, tongue, taste. So these are the means by which the information is received in our conscious mind. So information is received in the conscious mind. Here it is analyzed and filtered and passed on to the subconscious mind. Now, subconscious mind is the storage where all the knowledge is there. जो skill, जैसे हमने देखा एग्जाम्पल में कि जब हम गाड़ी सीखने जा रहे हैं, how we operated from the conscious mind and then the information was stored in the subconscious mind. So all the skills that we have, they are stored in the subconscious mind. ड्राइविंग के एग्जाम्पल में हमने ये भी देखा कि once we have learned the skill of driving, then more or less we operate on a autopilot. अपने आप उसमें एफर्ट डालने की ज्यादा जरूरत ही नहीं पड़ती है. When the information has stored in the subconscious mind, then it automatically will operate. And all our experiences, जो भी हमने लाइफ में experiences किए हैं, they are stored in our subconscious mind. All information is stored in our subconscious mind. Now, we have to understand that as a kid, after our birth, एक छोटे बच्चे का 5 से 7 साल तक, almost up to the age of 7 years, this part of the mind, that is the conscious mind, is not developed. It is almost non-developed, or it is, as he grows, it starts developing, but still it is not developed. So उस वक्त क्या होता है कि this the capability of rejecting or accepting is nil or very low. So whatever he's, in whatever surrounding he is, whatever information he is getting goes to his subconscious mind unfiltered. So जिस माहौल में एक बच्चा बड़ा होता है, उसका इन्फ्लुएंस जो है वो बचपन में जो है वो अनफिल्टर्ड, ये फिल्टर जो है वो उस वक्त काम नहीं करता है. It all the information goes into his subconscious mind unfiltered. That is the biggest formation of your mindset. उसने अपने माँ बाप को जैसे देखा है, उसने जो कुछ उसके टीचर ने उसको बताया है, जो उसका सोशल एनवायरनमेंट है, जिस माहौल में वो he has been born and brought up, all that influences, all that information, all that experiences, all that knowledges are, stored in his subconscious mind. And that is the basic formatting period of a person. And those informations are very strongly stored in his subconscious mind. But and before that, and as we grow, then we learn lot of things. हम स्कूल में जाते हैं, कॉलेज में जाते हैं, यूनिवर्सिटी में जाते हैं, हम ऐसे सेमिनार्स अटेंड करते हैं, ऐसे वर्कशॉप्स अटेंड करते हैं, और हम टीवी देखते हैं. So we are continuously learning from different sources. But whatever we are learning, उसमें से किस तरह से उस चीज को, how we take that, has the influence of the subconscious mind or the mindset that was created in our childhood. And now this subconscious mind or mindset creation is normally, 80 to 85% is what we learn in this as a child. But certain things come from generation, genetically also certain things, through your DNA, you call it a DNA, or genetically it comes, but 80% is learned. So that is why the offspring of the same parents, two boys or two girls, are not the same. Both have, so certain things they get it from their generations, and other 80% is under what surrounding they are brought up. So what happens as we grow, we we are always influenced by the mindset that has been formed in our life. Sorry, one. What has been formed in, that is how our paradigm or our mindset is formed. Now the good news is that there is always a possibility of changing this mindset. आपने देखा होगा कोई जो है एक छोटे से कीड़े से, even a smallest insect, people get scared, and दूसरा जो है उसको पकड़ करके मार देता है. So these are all, the mindset. That small insect is the same for both the people, but one is scared, one is not scared. So all this is a question of mindset. Are you getting the point? That this is all the mindset, because हमारी सोच में वो है कि हम एक कीड़े को देख करके डरते हैं कि उसको उससे नहीं डरते हैं. Like that everything. So even if we are, acquiring knowledge, how we utilize that knowledge, that depends on our formation of our mindset or the paradigm. That is how our mindset is formed. Now let us go to the next. How to change the mindset? The question arises that, yes, now we have understood that there is a conscious mind, there is a subconscious mind. Conscious mind is the place where all the informations are received, and that is the mind where we can analyze what is good, what is bad, what is wrong, what is right, and all that sort of analysis. Then through the filter, it goes to the subconscious mind. The information is stored in the subconscious mind. We have understood the function of the brain, that the basic or primary function of the brain is to keep us alive and to keep us safe and out of pain. Then we have understood the evolution of our brain from, starting from the primitive to the secondary to the third stage, and how our oldest brain has an influence over the our new brains as it evolved, and how the mindset is formed. Now the question is, if mindset is so important, can it be changed? Yes, it can be changed. And how to change that mindset? That is the next question, right? There are two ways to change our mind. Broadly, there are two ways to change our mind or our thinking. One is diversion. Diversion is mood खराब है तो बहुत से लोग क्या करेंगे, they will listen to a music, they will go out on walking. कुछ लोग lighting change कर देते हैं, कुछ लोग color change कर देते हैं. Lot of such things happen. Even there are things like, some people, if they are stressed, they will go for smoking, they will go for drinking, they will go for gambling. So these are some of the ways we divert our mood. Some of them are very useful, like music, walking, and these things. And some of them are not really desirable, like smoking, drinking, gambling. These are not desirable, but they do the same work. They divert you from a bad mood to a better mood. But the thing is that they are all external and temporary. These ways of changing your mood or trying to change your mindset cannot work permanently. They can give you a relief or give you a change of shift of your mood and mind for a temporary period, but they are not permanent. They are external and they are not permanent. Whereas there is generative changes. Examples are like change of habit. मतलब आप समझ लीजिए कि मुझे I know that I should do exercise. If I start doing exercise and I start keep continuing doing exercise, that is a change of habit. From not doing exercise to from doing exercise is a shift of mindset. And when that shift, we keep on doing it continuously over a period of time, then a new habit is formed. So that shift is generative in nature, and that is, when done rightly, that is a permanent change. That is uh, internal and permanent. Behavior may change. There are people who get very angry very fast. कुछ भी हुआ, they get wild. Now that behavior can be changed by practicing it over a period of time. So there are two kinds of two ways one can change: by diversion, which is temporary. Some of them are useful also, because listening to the music or going to walk, or या अपने पसंद का lighting कर दिया, things like that can really be helpful, but they are not permanent. But when we work on our things like our habit, our behavior, and bringing change on that, so number one is much easier. Number two is more difficult, and it is a long term. So these are the ways we can change our mindset. You see, there is a coordination that is required between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, so that you get a better result. Let us understand this with an example. So this is the conscious mind and this is the subconscious mind. Now, here, let us take an example of a captain of a ship. So there is, in a ship, to operate the ship, to navigate the ship, there is a captain. And the captain also has his crew members. Only captain cannot take the ship to the desired destination, and only crew without the captain cannot take the ship. There is a combination of a captain and a crew that works, and there has to be a coordination between the two. The captain has to exactly know what is he has to have a right kind of plan done, how to navigate the ship, where to take the ship, where to stop, where to stay for. He has a total plan, and accordingly, the crew is the people who captain gives the command, and the crew carry out the command. Now, captain is important in his place. He has to have a right kind of planning, and he has to have an efficient crew also. The skill of the crew, the mindset of the crew, everything matters. So our conscious mind is like the captain of the ship, where we have, in our conscious mind, we should have a right kind of planning. We should have a goal in life. We should have a purpose in life. These things are very important. Until and unless we know where we want to go in life, what is the purpose of my life? We have certain planning in our life. we cannot give a right command to our subconscious mind, that is the crew. And the subconscious mind has to have the right kind of skill and knowledge also. If you want to drive a car and you have not learned driving, then you do not have that skill. You want to become a doctor, you have not done, gone through the course of doctory, then you do not have the skills to become a doctor. Like that, engineer or a businessman. So you have to have a skill so that the crew is efficient, and but only being a having learned the skill is not enough. You have to have certain right planning, right destination, right goals, right purpose, thought out. It may keep on evolving. It keeps on evolving. But if you have not thought of anything, you have no goal in life, how can you give the right command to your subconscious mind? So there has to be a coordination, like there has to be a coordination to take the ship to the right destination. There has to be a good captain and a good crew. Like that, you have to have a right kind of planning and thoughts to give the right command to your, with a right kind of skill and knowledge to operate your subconscious, to give command to your subconscious mind, so that you are able to go properly in your life. So there has to be a proper coordination between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. And most often there is this mismatch between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. Let us take an example. Say, command by the conscious mind and the subconscious mind paradigm mindset. Say, someone wants to become rich, right? Someone wants to become rich, but his mindset, his mind has these notions. Money does not grow on tree. Rich people are bad. Money brings sin. I am not good enough. Then what happens? On the one hand, he is trying to become rich. He has the willingness to become rich, but he has these are the mental blocks. So there is a tug of war between what command you are giving and what your subconscious mind is has in its store. And these are known as mental blocks, blind spots. So until and unless we clear these mental blocks, our commands, even if we are willing to change ourselves, so first we have to work on our blind spots or our mental blocks to change ourselves. So this mismatch between the command and the execution there has to be a coordination, as we discussed in the previous slide. There has to be a right coordination. Let us take another example. I need to exercise. Probably all of us, we know the benefits of doing exercise. But 90% of the people don't execute it. Why? Because of lot of excuses. I have no time. I cannot get up early. I cannot afford to go to the gym, and so on and so forth. So again, there is a mismatch of what you are trying to do and what is stored in your subconscious mind. So that mismatch will, until unless we clear those mismatches, we clear those mental blocks, we clear those blind spots from our subconscious mind, we cannot. And as we have discussed earlier, our brain will try to keep us in our comfort zone. It will keep on telling these things. Because it wants to keep you safe and keep you out of pain. वो यही बोलता रहेगा कि नहीं हाँ तुम्हारे पास टाइम नहीं है, अरे यार जल्दी नहीं उठ सकता हूँ, मैं जिम कैसे जा सकता हूँ, या फिर रिच होना है लेकिन धनी लोग जो है वो बुरे लोग होते हैं. As you get money, you are more likely to be a sinner. These are all, things that has to be cleared. And the good news is that it can be worked out. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. Let us let us understand with an example what is the power of subconscious mind when we have the right thought and right coordination between the conscious and the subconscious mind. Let us understand that with an example. How many of you know about Wilma Rudolph? Wilma Rudolph was born in USA, America. She was born in a poor family. Her mother was a maid and her father was a coolie in the railways. And at the age of 4, Wilma got polio. And she had to wear these braces in her leg. And the doctors told her that she will never be able to walk in her life in a normal way. And she should not take out her braces in the whole life. Just a moment. But Wilma's mother, she never, lost hopes. She kept on telling Wilma that with right determination and persistence, anything is possible in the life. And she kept on encouraging Wilma. And at the age of around 9, against the advice of the doctors, Wilma took out the braces from her leg. And she could take her first step. And that gave us the courage. And she kept on trying, and by the time she reached the age of 13, she started taking part in races. And the first race she took part, she was the last in the race. But that didn't deter her from her determination. She didn't leave persisting. Determination and persistence. She kept on taking parts in the races, and by the age of 15, she could win some races. And that was the time when she met with a wonderful coach. I think his name was Temple. And Wilma told her that I want to become the fastest woman in the world, on the earth. Looking to this, and his coach, Temple, said, looking to your spirit, I think no one can stop you. And he started coaching her. And then ultimately, she got an opportunity to participate in Olympics. Just imagine a girl who had a polio, with her determination and persistence, got selected for participating in the Olympics. And her first race was 100-meter race. And her main opponent was a girl by the name of, what is her name? Just Juta Hind. Her she had to compete Juta Hen, and Juta Hen was a girl who had never been defeated. And in the 100-meter race, she defeated Juta Hen and got the gold. Friends, the things didn't stop here. The next race was for 200 meters. And there too, she had to compete with Juta Hen and others. And the thing is that 200-meter race also was won by Wilma Rudolph. And that is not the end. I get goosebumps when I talk of this girl, her achievements. The third race was 400-meter relay race. And as most of you would know that in a relay race, the fastest runner is the last one. And like all the other three runners completed their part, and when the partner of the Wilma passed on the baton to Wilma, the baton slipped out of her hand. It slipped out of her hand. But she didn't get nervous. Within a fraction of a second, she took up the baton. She looked at Juta Hen and ran like for her life, you can say. And they won the 400-meter race also. She became the first American woman to win 3 golds in one Olympic. This was sometime in 1956. And after a few years, in 1960 probably, she became the fastest woman on the world. Can you imagine the power of the subconscious mind? A girl who was born in a poor family. His father was a coolie, his mother was a maid. She had polio at the age of 4. She was advised not to take out her braces, and that girl became the fastest woman in the world, on the earth, won 3 gold medals in one single Olympic. Can you understand the power of subconscious mind? Can you understand the power of determination and persistence? हम अगर किसी चीज को determination और persistence कर सकते हैं तो nothing is impossible. That is the power of subconscious mind, my friends. That is the power of our subconscious mind. Stages of consciousness, you see, this is also a very important part. We have to understand where we stand today. We have to raise our consciousness, and we have to understand where we stand today. The lowest stage of consciousness is victimhood. It is self-doubt. Most of the people have always a doubt about their capability. I am not capable enough. They will keep on, doubting or blaming the circumstances around. इस वजह से नहीं हुआ, मेरे पिताजी की वजह से नहीं हुआ, मेरे देश की वजह से नहीं हुआ, मेरे बॉस की वजह से नहीं हुआ, मेरे टीचर की वजह से नहीं हुआ, या फिर they will keep on blaming themselves. I am old enough, I am too old, I am too young, I am not capable, I do not have the right kind of knowledge, I do not have the right kind of brain. All this is victimhood. And friends, majority of the people live their life in this victimhood. And I can tell you, you are different. You are different because you are attending this webinar. There is a fire within you, and that is why you are here. this, so you have to understand, even if you have self-doubts, even if you have other negative thoughts, you have to come out of it. The second stage is awareness or empowerment. What we are doing here? We are creating awareness. We are creating awareness of our capabilities. We are understanding how we can improve ourselves. This is awareness. As we get more and more and more aware, we get more and more and more power. So awareness is a great stage to shift from victimhood through awareness. There, where you start getting empowered, and you will, there may be for everyone, there may be in certain areas, there may be, one may be in the victimhood stage and one may be in the empowerment stage. And we have to keep on working on everything, because there are so many areas of life. Four of the major spectrums of life are, health, wealth, relationship, and spirituality. So everyone may not be equally strong in all the areas, but if we want to become really, happy in life, successful in life, feel more fulfillment in life, then we have to work on all the areas. But we may have to take one area at a time, and uh, not neglecting the other areas, but the focus may keep on shifting on by identifying in what stage we are in different areas, spectrums of the life. So the lowest stage is victimhood. Unfortunately, majority of the peoples, die with victimhood. Then there is empowerment. Then comes the third stage, that is surrender or faith. As we go through the journey of life of, evolving, what happens that we will encounter lot of problems, lot of obstacles will come, which are not in our hand. That is so. Uh, Quite often, what happens when we face any obstacles, then there is a tendency to give up. Your that reptilian mind, you will try to keep you in the comfort zone. You remember, right? So we have to surrender to the higher power, whether you call it a God, Ishwar, Allah, Jesus. Yeah, there is some higher power, and we have to have faith in Him and faith in ourselves. So, this is the stage where a person, after being empowered, doesn't give up. Otherwise, what happens? Empowerment stage say there is all likelihood that a person may go back to his victim stage until and unless he understand the power of surrendering and the faith. And the last stage is enlightenment. I'm not really qualified to talk about this stage, because this is the stage of highest stage, like, people like Buddha and all have reached. So this, although I think, there are some sparks that you get in life when you feel enlightenment. But this is not the stage really that can be taught. But the other stages can be understood, taught, or can be worked upon. So these are the stages of consciousness, and why we get stuck in life. Mainly one thing. You remember that? That is the mindset. The wrong mindset or the mental blocks we discussed, the lack of coordination between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, the wrong mindset is the cause of why we get stuck in life. And you have seen the example of Wilma, where she got out of, she had a mindset that could not stop her at any point of time, in spite of all the adversities that is possible for someone. How to work on our mindset? Working on our subconscious mind by start by recognizing one area that you want to improve. You see, we cannot work on everything at a time. So it is always better to take baby steps, small steps. So start by recognizing it may be, starting to do exercise. It may be getting up early in the morning, because as your brain and your mind gets used to change, for change, you have, as we discussed, we have to stress ourselves a bit to come out of the of the comfort zone. So once we start working on some area of the life and achieve the things, then your brain also starts understanding that yes, this is how we have to work. Then that becomes the trend. Take small but consistent step till the change becomes your second habit. You remember the determination and the persistence that Wilma's mother told her? That is the key. And repeat the process for next area. So we have to remember that it is a journey, and it is not a quick fix formula. But once we are in the journey, once we have accepted the journey of progress, once we have accepted the journey to evolve ourselves to higher stages, from drifting stage to higher stages, then that becomes your way of life. There are a lot of techniques for this, like auto suggestions, like affirmation, like visualization, meditation, Ho'oponopono, Socratic questioning, tapping, EFT, and lot many techniques. Now, these are not in the scope of today's discussion, but the point is everything is possible. There are ways, there are techniques, there are methods by which we can totally change our life for good. And lastly, I think the time is getting over. Lastly, let me finish with the beautiful quote from Joseph Murphy in his book, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. He says, as you sow in your subconscious mind, so shall you reap in your body and environment. So our mind, our subconscious mind is like a fertile land. जैसा उसमें बीज बोओगे, the whatever seed you put in that in the land doesn't know, the soil doesn't know that what seed it is. But based on the seed, you will get the plant or tree or the fruits. Like that, if you put the right thoughts, right things in your subconscious mind, the subconscious mind doesn't know that is good or right. If you have right thoughts, you will get the right results. There will be right manifestation. Wrong thoughts, poor results. As simple as that. So as you sow in your subconscious mind, so shall you reap in your body and environment. Thank you. That is all that I had to discuss in this presentation today. And I now hand it over to Apurva ji. Please
Yes, Sanjay, thank you very much for the wonderful session. There were people joining and dropping off probably due to internet reasons, but we saw a lot of traffic coming on and off. Uh, I have got few questions on that. I think it's one of
Yes.
the participants, but then I think we lost them. Uh, the
Let us
question,
still maybe that may be beneficial to others also, na, who are
yes.
present at the moment.
Correct. So, can the question was something like this? I'm little reframing due to the probably the typing issues, but can subconscious mind also change as easily as conscious mind? So, I think the user is referring to that slide where you had two different mindsets, and is it as easy, or because generally the subconscious mind
You
is
see,
difficult?
easy and difficult is a very relative word. I think these are, for some changes are very easy and for some changes are difficult. But in general, we can say that you know when we start working on our subconscious mind, or when we start working on our habits, it's a little difficult part because our brain works like that. It has a resistance to change. That is the point we have discussed throughout the presentation, that the brain has a resistance to change. So, and this we are talking of the change of our subconscious mind. You see, the change is required basically in the subconscious mind. Conscious mind is where we are receiving, but when our subconscious mind has a influence over our conscious mind, so the basic change has to be done in the subconscious mind. But with the use of certain techniques, we have, when we try to do something like we go to the college, we get a system of, knowledge. When we go to learn driving from a driver who is learned, who knows driving, learning the driving becomes very simple. Like that, when we go to some right people, some right coaches who can help you to, give you the right process how to change, who can analyze and understand what you need, then the process becomes much simpler. But ultimately, it all depends on the person who wants to change. You see, I will give you a very small and practical example. In a class, there are 40 students, but not every student is getting the same what the same teacher is teaching to all of them. So it is the desire, it is the fire in within the person that determines that how fast or how well he can change himself. I hope that clarifies the uh, question.
Correct, correct, sir. I think someone wants to ask a question. I think it's
Please.
Hello, Apurva. Can you hear my voice?
yes, you're audible.
Yes. So, Sanjay sir, this is Harshal here. And it has been a wonderful webinar, and I was listening to it and watching it. And I have a question on one of the generative methods you mentioned. So, can meditation help as a generative method changing?
Yes, yes, yes. One of the tools that I mentioned in my presentation was meditation. Meditation is
Yes.
definitely a great tool. It may not be the only way, but it is one of the very important and great tool to work on your subconscious mind.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, there was, I think, one question, and it intrigued me as well. That how will a coordination? How can that be improved? So there is a coordination between. So all these techniques, I believe, I think you partially answered that earlier.
Yeah, yeah, and moreover, as we discussed the example of a ship captain and the crew. Now, you have a very good captain. That is, you have very right kind of thinking, but the crew is very weak. Unka, they do not have right kind of knowledge of about the engine and the other things they have to, work upon. then what will happen? There will be a mismatch of the between the captain and the crew, and there will be always a problem. Like that, at the one place you have to have the right instruction from the conscious mind, but at the same time you should have the right skill and knowledge also. So until unless both match, जो हमने एग्जांपल देखा ना कि मुझे एक्सरसाइज करना है, लेकिन what happens, मेरे पास टाइम नहीं है, मैं सुबह उठ नहीं सकता हूँ, there can be hundreds and thousands of excuses for that. So we have to work on those blind spots, those mental blocks. Then only their coordination can be done.
Probably you can throw some lights on the audience. Majority of them will be from the engineering background. How will it help? For example, all these subconscious mind and the techniques and something.
Right.
Probably they are in their young ages and going for more career. Probably starting starting jobs or starting new companies, startups or something. How will uh, a control over crew and the ship captain, how will it help them in their daily life? How can it be
I
like?
think this is a very important, very interesting question you have put up, Purvaji. You see, the unfortunate part is that these are the things which are not taught to us in general. But uh, you see, even in colleges and all, in even developed countries like US and all, they also do not do it. But there has been lot of working going on, particularly in USA, on personally development, mind set development, on all these things. You see, the first question I had put up was, what is one thing that can change your life? That is the mindset. So we have to understand that, as we discussed the example of 40 students in the class and not every student is same. It is not that we are all gifted with the hardware, good hardware, that is the brain. आपके पास ये अच्छे से अच्छा लैपटॉप है, अगर उसमें सॉफ्टवेयर ही करप्टेड है, तो व्हाट विल दैट गुड हार्डवेयर डू? So we are having, all of us are having the good hardware, but unfortunately we are not, it is not only the knowledge. Knowledge is very important, but it is also the attitude that matters, the belief that matters, how you believe in the things, what attitude you have. The difference between the 40 student is not the teacher. They are getting the same knowledge, but what they are able to catch is different, and that is all because of the mindset. And that is exactly what I was trying to, why I was going into the detail of how the things function. Because until and unless we have the awareness of the functioning of our brain and our mind, we cannot understand. We will always have an argument कि हो सकता है कि नहीं हो सकता है. Take the example of Wilmer Ford. A girl with every kind of limitation you can think becomes the fastest runner on the earth. I really get goosebumps when I talk of her. Think of what is the power of our subconscious mind or our brain. So we are all gifted with that hardware. We have to, work on our thoughts, our mindset.
Yes, I think that beautifully explained. So I think graduates who are graduating or about to be graduated next year, I think can relate to this, because if they control their mind, if they do a good coordination, they will be successful in their career when they go all out into the industries, as well as if they start something on their own. I believe there was another question Harshal wanted to check. Just a moment, I'll give control back to him. Yes, I think he's unmuted. Do have
Can
another
you?
question?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear. Yeah.
So do habits have any correlation with how you explained command versus commanded. So how do we measure that subconscious actually changed? That is what I was wondering.
You see, habits are, you know, habits are like, uh, the things that put us on the autopilot. You see, हम सुबह उठते हैं, कोई 5 बजे उठता है, कोई 10 बजे उठता है. What is that? It is habit. You see, I will give my own example. I wanted to exercise from the very young age, and उस वक्त but I always मुझे मतलब in the initial phase of my professional life, I had to reach the office by 8 o'clock. तो मुझे 6:30 बजे उठ करके 7 बजे तक 20 किलोमीटर जाना है, 7 बजे निकल जाना पड़ता था, तो I always used to think, जब someday when I will have an office where I have to go at 10 o'clock, I will do the exercise. Okay, हुआ 10 बजे का हुआ, no change, because that was the habit. Exercise नहीं कर, excuses were there. Time मिल गया. Time was not the constraint. In fact, time was not constraint at that time also. We can discuss it in very big length. But that habit was not there. Then you believe me, someday it suddenly stuck. No, I have to get out of it. And I started with pranayams for हमारे कौन वो गुरु हैं जो पतंजलि वाले, रामदेव बाबा. उस वक्त रामदेव बाबा का बहुत प्रोग्राम चलता था. एक दिन मुझे दिखा और समवेयर वो बोलते हैं ना, स्पार्क आ जाता है कई बार, दैट स्पार्क कि मुझे करना चाहिए. एंड that was probably at the age of 45. I'm 66 now. That was at the age of 45. I started with 3 minutes. Because वो लगता है ना कि 3 मिनट 24 घंटे में मैं 3 मिनट नहीं निकाल सकता हूँ. That was the feelings came into my mind. तो धिक्कार है मेरे ऊपर. So I started with 3 minutes, and gradually within 2 months I reached 15 to 20 minutes. And that is what I am continuing even today. And I can, challenge that very few at my age can have the energy I have. I feel like a young man of 40s at the age of 66. So that is the habit. The habit is very important to work on the habit.
Right. Thank you.
I think, sir, that clarifies the your query.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Thanks.
But this is, as I said, this is a journey. We have to understand that this is a journey. It is not a quick fix. We have to, but once you are on the journey, आप अगर जैसे यहाँ से मुझे बाई रोड दिल्ली जाना है, एक बार निकलने के पहले बहुत सारी तैयारियां करनी पड़ती है, फिर गाड़ी में सब कुछ रख दिया, सब कुछ और निकल गए रास्ते में. Then you once you get into the journey, then things start automatically happen. हाँ, रास्ते में रोड़े आ सकते हैं, आपकी गाड़ी कहीं पर खराब हो गई, पंचर हो गई, कुछ हो गया. All those things may happen. That is why I was talking of the stages of consciousness. You have to bring yourself out of the stage of that victimhood and go to the higher stages. So एक बार आप उस रास्ते में निकल पड़े ना, और आपका determination और persistence है, no one can stop.
Thank you, sir. Yes.
And any more questions?
I think no, we don't see one. Probably Abhijit is trying to share his screen on the last screens, and so I think we are approaching the end of the webinar, sir. So
one thing I wanted, if with your permission, Apurva ji, that you see, as we discussed, this is a journey. So I would like that the participants are connected, and that is why I have created a Facebook group, a very private and VIP Facebook group for people who have the fire. And I think those who are attending this have the fire, the desire, the willingness to improve in life. So, and there I will keep on, sharing more and more informations on this, so that they are in the journey of this self-development. So if you permit me, I can share the link for that in the Q&A thing.
Please,
So that
sir, you can post the link, and I request all the participants and attendees to note the link. And Sanjay sir, what we can do, another thing, we have the email IDs of the registrants, and we will definitely post the link. So if you could kindly give us the
beautiful,
organizing
beautiful,
committee,
beautiful,
we will.
beautiful. The
We will
purpose is, yeah, beautiful. Purpose is to keep in touch and keep them, help them, going ahead in the journey.
So
That is the purpose.
requesting all attendees, registrants, and of course the members of the organizing committee. You are this is a very good gesture by Sanjay sir. Really appreciate it, sir. There is a private channel specific for on this subject, and Sanjay sir will be releasing all these information as and when it's available. So requesting each one of you to get registered or follow Sanjay sir
You
on
say
the
what you can do, you can send a, go to the link, send a request to join the group, and I will keep on approving, looking to, because this will be only for limited people. It is a community of like-minded people I want to create, where, not only I will be putting up the things, but people can also share their feelings there.
Sir, what is it called? If it, for the benefit of audience, what is the name of
It is
the
a Facebook group. Facebook group
and the name of the Facebook group is
is
what is
abundance living.
Abundance Living? Yes.
Yeah.
So request all attendees to do a search on the Facebook by Abundance Living, and Sanjay sir will approve the request to join the group. It's a private group, so I request, if you are the like-minded people who want to get in touch, let's join that and take advantage if we think we are one of that. So thank you, sir. Thank you for this opportunity to join such community.
It is absolutely my honor and pleasure, and it's so wonderful to have people over here. And thank you, everyone. Apurva ji, thanks a lot giving me the opportunity to speak to the all of them. And I look forward to get back on this and help people, going ahead in their journey of life.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, and I thank management of Noble Group of institutions. We will extend on take request Sanjay sir again, once again, as and when the opportunity comes, to come and enlighten us with all these great such topics. This will be also very soon available on some of the platforms on and individually people can connect to Sanjay Biswas on their on his social media icons, as well as get in touch with us Adapme to get similar knowledge. I again once again thank you from bottom of my heart, sir, to give and spend
My
more than 1 hour 35 minutes on this.
my pleasure,
Thank you, sir.
and my honor.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, and look forward to share more with you in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.